Here's some reading practice. I came across this article from Tucson.com, a website from the Arizona Daily Star. This is reading practice. The title of this article is Militias in Arizona Thrive Despite Lack of Authorizing Law. Um, there's a picture at the very beginning of the article here. It says Dan Knuth, Arizona Daily Star 2006. There's a caption underneath this picture. The Minuteman movement peaked around 2006 when this event took place near 3 points, but a hard core of border militia members remain committed to the cause. So this article was published on May 27, 2012, 12 a.m. by Tom Steller, Arizona Daily Star. And the article has 0 comments. This is such a hot topic that most people don't even want to be associated with this, or most readers of the Arizona Star here don't want to be associated with this article. Anyway, I begin. Lawmakers killed a bill that would have created a state-sanctioned border militia, but that didn't squelch the Minuteman impulse in Arizona. Neither did the movement's ties to border militia leader and neo-Nazi J.T. Reddy, who killed 4 people and apparently killed himself May 2nd in Gilbert. People in the cause remain committed to patrolling spots near the Arizona-Mexico border to stop what they see as an invasion by smugglers or illegal immigrants, said participants, their supporters, and their critics. Some may be even more motivated now that their plan for state organization was ended by a legislative maneuver. There is a large military veteran population in our state who would go down there and do the work that the state needs done under the state flag, said Michael Fry of Spring Valley, Arizona, who supported SB 1083, which would have created the Arizona Special Missions Unit. Now, he said, there's really no other choice but for those folks like myself to form citizens militias. A longtime Arizona border militia leader, Jack Foote, worked for a period with a group that wrote the bill and said its demise is motivating sympathizers of the border militia movement. We have now washed our hands of our state's legislature, Foote of Cottonwood said via email. Now we are going to do things our way. The bill would have set up a 300-member volunteer force to 300 volunteer force to patrol the border at the governor's request. The state would have been armed but also vetted in an effort to weed out the violent extremists who have been attracted to the Minuteman movement. But critics of that movement, such as Mark Pidkovich of the Anti-Defamation League, said the border militia idea is extremist in its nature, not just in its outer edges. Some are explicitly white supremacist, said Pitkovich, who has studied extreme right-wing movements for years. The others may not be white supremacists, but may well be racists. Rumored explosives. Tim Foley says he motivated to Tim Foley says he's motivated to patrol the border by the signs of a drug cartel invasion that he sees in the mountains and deserts outside Sasabe, Arizona. Sasabe, Arizona. Foley, who lives most of the time in the Phoenix area, began going to the border in 2010 when he read an online call to arms by a group calling itself the Arizona Citizens Militia. Unbeknownst to him, that group was led by Foote, who founded the Ranch Rescue Group in 2000, setting the stage for the later Minuteman movement. Foley quickly soured on Foote, but got hooked on patrolling the border and now goes for regular multi-day patrols. As many border militia members have, Foley split away and formed his own group, which he calls the Arizona Border Recon. We do reconnaissance. We'll sit on the mountain, but if we see something, we'll make a call, he said. Foley himself was the target of an urgent search last year after a border patrol sent in Sasabe reported that Foley had said he planted improvised explosive devices on border trails outside Sasabe. On April 1st, 2011, 2 days after Foley allegedly made the comment, a team of officers led by the FBI searched the area for explosives and sent a bomb robot to his Sasabe home, Foley said. The whole incident derived from Foley's effort to tell a story and see how it got around, he said. It was me trying to find out who was dirty. Border Patrol, he said. There are no IEDs. There are no bombs. There is no assassin. Word of the search involving Foley emerged last summer after a Border Patrol report on the incident was leaked as part of a hacking targeting Arizona Department of Public Safety computers. The FBI would not comment on the incident, and there are no court records on Foley related to the incident. Following other states, the effort to form a state-sanctioned volunteer militia began in 2007, when then State Senator Jack Harper introduced a bill to form a state Homeland Security force, a volunteer group that could be used on the border or elsewhere at the command of the governor. Then Governor Janet Napolitano vetoed the bill, calling it unnecessary because the governor already had legal authority to call up a militia. In 2011, Harper and others introduced a new bill to establish an Arizona State Guard That fourth 3/4 page bill passed and was signed into law, but it was toothless. No money was provided to establish the Guard. Last year, State Senator Sylvia Allen took the concept further, convening a team of people to write a bill and including a request for $1.9 million to fund the new volunteer militia. Luke Taylor, a retired Army lieutenant colonel, helped lead the group and thought he had come up with a winning concept: a new Arizona Special Missions Unit. This legislative year, we took a different approach whereby parts of 22 states' public law relative to state guards were used to build our bill, he said in an email. It was the best ever, and the citizens approved it, but the open borders and status quo crowds did not in the final push. State Senator Steve Gallardo strenuously fought the bill, arguing, all this does is it legitimizes Minuteman-type model of enforcement. Among the opponents were Major General Hugo Salazar, who heads the Arizona National Guard, and worried that this group would be armed and that he hadn't been consulted adequately. Governor Jan Brewer also let it be known that she didn't want the bill. The House Speaker, Andy Tobin, never set a floor vote on the bill, killing it. Going against the trend. The death of the bill infuriated Foote. There is some serious outrage in our state about the way Tobin killed our bill, and that outrage is now being channeled into direct citizen action, Foote said via email last week. People have begun organizing their own militia units all over Arizona. Not all border militia participants have faith in Foote's words. Foley, for example, said he joined Arizona Citizens Militia after Foote posted news of shootouts and invasions at the border that turned out to be bogus. But others, such as Fry and Al Roglin of Phoenix, say Foote retains a following despite earlier conflicts in the movement. If the border militia movement is regenerating, that goes against a trend documented earlier this year by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which tracks groups it considers right-wing extremist. The center reported that the number of border militia groups had significantly declined, in part because members' passions were being channeled into state legislatures. Now, in Arizona, they've been stymied. But the potential expansion of border militia activity doesn't necessarily mean violence. Members and others said Reddy's rampage, in which he killed his girlfriend, his daughter, and his daughter's boyfriend and their baby, was a domestic violence tragedy. Unrelated to his political and border activities, said James Turgel, the FBI special agent in charge who oversees Arizona. The FBI was investigating Reddy at the time of he died. For years, he participated in heavily armed border patrols. The most recently, he led a group called U.S. Border Guard, made up in part of members of the Nationalist Socialist Movement, a neo-Nazi group. Weeding out people like Reddy is key to involvement with citizen border patrols, said Pat King, a rancher in the area between 3 Points and Sassabee. She has accepted help from Minuteman movement members for years, she said. In earlier years, members went out on patrols, but more recently, they have primarily used game cameras to uncover and report illegal activity on the ranch. You have to be very careful of who joins your ranks, that you don't trash the whole organization, King said. Some people can join and have their own agendas. That gets kind of frightening. Contact reporter Tim Steller at 807-8427 or tsteller at azstarnet.com. View 0 comments. And more border stories. And a whole lot of advertisement. And if anybody's even listening, thank you and goodbye.